Coming up on NonStop Local at 4, several Spokane schools face lockdowns after reports of a student fight possibly involving a weapon. What's behind those claims and how local law enforcement is ensuring safety. Plus, the Gonzaga and Idaho men's basketball teams begin their drive for the title tonight. Austin Getz and Noah Schmick are previewing those matchups for us.
Let the games begin, right? All right, we've got some rain and wind in the forecast once again as we head into the first official day of spring. A full look at that 7-day forecast. We'll see you back here in just a few minutes. NonStop Local at 4 starts right now.
Corey Howard and Leslie Lowe, bringing you the content that connects our community. You're watching NonStop Local News at 4.
And good afternoon to you. Thanks for being with us here on NonStop Local at 4. Developing earlier today, several schools in Spokane went into lockdown and then secure and teach after Spokane police received reports of a fight between students with weapon possibly involved. But that wasn't the first incident affecting Shadle Park High School, Glover Middle School, and MAP. In fact, SPD responded earlier in the day to a series of swatting calls. NonStop Local's Belle Lewis has been tracking this incident for us today. Belle, break down the timeline for us here.
Yeah, good evening, Corey. I want to be clear. We are talking about two separate, law enforcement made that clear, two distinct cases that required a law enforcement presence. Around 10 a.m., Spokane Public Schools sent a message to Shadle High families saying the school had received several threatening robocalls, also known as swatting calls, and while the Spokane Police Department determined the threats to be unsubstantiated, they still responded to the school out of an abundance of caution. Again, police determining those calls were likely swatting. At this time, the schools did not go into lockdown. 2 hours later, SPD responding again, this time to calls of some sort of altercation between students, which allegedly involved a weapon. According to SPD, the student fled after the incident, prompting the lockdown of Shadle, Glover, and MAP. The schools remained in lockdown until 12:15 when they transitioned to secure and teach, which means the building is secured, but teaching goes on. Then around 1 p.m., SPS sent this message to families saying law enforcement believes the threat is no longer in the area, but secure and teach would be in place for a while longer. It was eventually removed around 2, and school dismissal took place as normal. Now, according to SPD, they are still investigating this incident, taking a look at witnesses and potential footage. I asked if anyone had been detained as of earlier today. No one had. I'm reaching back out to get that confirmation for you. In Spokane, I'm Belle Lewis, NonStop Local.
Well, thank you very much. And we first brought you this story on The Pulse earlier today. Our Bradley Warren anchoring live hourly updates, which can be found on our website or by downloading the NonStop Local app. And let's get over to Leslie Lowe in the Weather Center because, Leslie, just a nice spring day. It's warm. I was driving to work this morning. 60 degrees is what it said on my thermometer there.
I mean, not so bad. It's mid-60s out there right now.
I like it.
Still a little bit breezy, and we've still got a few pop-up showers, but otherwise it's been pretty quiet today. So let's get a look at our weather forecast. It's 64 in Spokane, 60-degree temperatures in Coeur d'Alene. We've got mid-60s in Pullman and 66 degrees right now in Chewelah. Like I said, the winds have been a bit of a player. We've got steadily blowing winds at 22 miles per hour right now in Spokane, anywhere from 10 to 20 about across I-90 from Moses Lake over towards Ritzville down towards Washington. Strongest wind gusts have been at about 37 to 40 miles per hour, and we're still seeing that for areas over towards Wenatchee at 37 miles per hour. Our strongest wind gust here in Spokane right now, 30 miles per hour. Light band of showers making its way through North Idaho over towards the Idaho-Montana state line. Of course, we do have some rain showers on the west side of the state. That's where we're seeing the bulk of the rain showers. As far as mountain passes go, snow levels are pretty high up there, so we're seeing some rain across those mountain passes right now. So what we'll be dealing with is going to be not only rain, but we've got snow melt off because of the warming temperatures. Still flooding concerns out there for the Yakima Valley. We've got a flood warning that is in play, and still some flood watches and flood warnings for the northern Cascades for King County over towards Snohomish County. In addition to that, avalanche warnings and watches that are in play for North Idaho over towards western Montana. As we head overnight tonight, Corey, more showers in the forecast. Our overnight lows above average once again. And then tomorrow, as we head into the first official day of spring, we do have more warm temperatures in the forecast, but it is a bit unsettled. So I'll explain when I see you back here in just a few minutes.
Thank you very much, Leslie. The drive for the title begins tonight for our local teams, starting with the third-seeded Gonzaga's first-round game at 7 p.m. SWX's Austin Getz breaking down the keys to victory against 14th-seeded Kennesaw State.
All right, everybody, here we go. The Gonzaga men's drive for the title beginning tonight here at the Moda Center as they take on Kennesaw State. The Zags, the 3 seed, the Owls, the 14. Let's talk a little bit about this game. Expect high-paced action as it's going to be a frenetic pace that Kennesaw State likes to play. If you look at the rankings and how fast they play, they are top 20 in the entire country and how much they like to get up and down the court. Now for Gonzaga, they're not exactly a slow it down half-court team either, but they rank in that same metric about 110th, which is to say that the Owls are going to try and push the pace, do what got them here to get the win. 3 names you need to know if you're a Zags fan trying to familiarize yourself with Kennesaw State. R.J. Johnson, Braden Liu, and Franquan Sherman. That's number 11, number 13, and number 6, respectively. All of them average double figures for the Owls, who are trying to shock the world. The Zags looking for their 17th straight NCAA tournament win in the first round. They'll try to do it tonight at 7 as they take on the Owls.
All right, and meanwhile, in Oklahoma City, the Vandals are eyeing an upset win over Houston with the tip-off set for 7:10 p.m. Noah Schmick is previewing this game for us. Noah?
We have made it to Idaho Vandal Men Game Day. And I was told by the University of Idaho to say V's up. The first time the men are playing in the NCAA tournament since 1990, 36 years. But there's been a whole lot of history made on this court here in the Paycom Center already today. The first 2 games featured Nebraska, who basically sold out this arena, and they won their first ever NCAA tournament game. And then the very next game, Vanderbilt won their first NCAA tournament game in 14 years. So we'll have to see if the history keeps on being made here at the Paycom Center. Of course, it's going to be Texas A&M and St. Mary's, and then it's Idaho taking on the 2 seed Houston. So we'll see if a little bit of history keeps being made. And then another thing I wanted to update you on, the Idaho women are practicing right now in Norman, Oklahoma. They're going to drive up here to Oklahoma City and watch this game and cheer on the Vandal men. So that's pretty cool. I was told that by the Idaho Sports Information Director, so that's why I got to give the V's up. But we'll make sure to get you post-game reaction from here on the Vandal men game, and then tomorrow on the Vandal women's game on SWXLocalSports.com. But for now, I'm Noah Schmick, SWX.
And of course, another fun part of the tournament for teams is the free tournament gear that they get. Here's Gonzaga women's forward Jaden Hale showing off her haul.
Okay, my name is Jaden Hale. I'm with Gonzaga Women's Basketball, and this is my March Madness haul. We're about to go practice, and the March Madness stuff we got is a hat, which I love. If you see any of the pictures of me after the WCC, I was wearing that hat. We have some cards, socks, like a little sign, this poster kind of thing that's definitely going to go in our living room because we don't have any other direction or any other things up. And then a little sweatshirt. And then we got some Degree and Dove stuff, which is always nice. We got 3 different kinds of deodorants and a little body wash. So yeah, I'm very excited about this. Yeah, it's good stuff.
What's the best part?
The sweatshirt. It's very cute. I'm actually really impressed. Like, I'll wear this when we're done for sure. But yeah, it's good stuff.
It's a good looking sweatshirt. All right, after tonight's men's games, you can tune in to our live post-game podcast on the SWX YouTube channel. Henry Kruger and Quinn Carey will be joined by former Zag Zach Gord to break down all the action you see there. Let's look for those 2 guys standing back to back like that. All right, still to come here on NonStop Local at 4. It's a Thursday, so we thought we'd try something new. Let's take a look at some random patents that were issued today for the products of tomorrow. Oh wait, we've been doing that for almost 4 years now. Today it continues. Patent Thursday coming up, everyone.
Patent Thursday and a full look at your weekend forecast because we are that close to the weekend to ground. We'll see you back here with all those details coming up in just a few minutes. Our temperatures out there are so mild. We're sitting right there in the mid-60s in Spokane, as well as Pullman, 65 as well for Chewelah, and then we're sitting right at 60 degrees for Coeur d'Alene. Wind speeds, they've been kind of feisty this afternoon. Those steadily blowing winds anywhere from 5 to 25 miles per hour, and strongest wind gust upwards of 30 to 40 miles per hour. We're seeing those stronger wind gusts back through Wenatchee right now at 37 miles per hour. Spokane sitting at 30 miles per hour. So satellite and radar, we got a little band of showers kind of pushing through the Palouse, so 195 and 95 over towards North Idaho, riding right there along the Idaho-Montana state line. And then we've got the heavier band of showers back into the west side of the state, pushing over towards the Cascades. So the mountain locations are actually seeing those showers currently as well, which creates the problems we just talked about with flooding concerns. We've got flood watches over towards the west side of the state, as well as some flood warnings, and then a flood warning down towards Yakima. Overnight lows tonight, mid-50s around Spokane. We'll hold on to those 50-degree temperatures for the Panhandle and Coeur d'Alene, back into Omak and Colville. Overnight lows tonight, Moses Lake 55 and 53 tonight in Lewiston. So for tonight, again, mostly cloudy showers, mostly cloudy skies, chance of showers, still some blustery winds that will continue through the day tomorrow. It is a bit cooler as we get you into the weekend, but things look pretty nice. In fact, we're expecting some sunshine as we head into Saturday and into Sunday. As far as our shower activity for tonight, you can see that band pull through within the overnight hours. So overnight showers starting to push to the north as we head into tomorrow morning. And then here comes the cold front. Now the cold front, as it sweeps through, we do see for the most part some clearing skies for the first half of the day. Another band of showers though moving through as we get you into the evening. But with that cold front, that's where we see those winds whip up once again by tomorrow afternoon. So we'll look for gusty conditions, wind gust at about 30-35 miles per hour into the afternoon hours. That could mean, again, the potential for some issues as far as driving goes, especially for high-profile vehicles. And we're really focused on areas over towards western Montana. That's where we'll see the strongest of those winds as we head into our day on Friday. With that, we've got elevated fire danger with that heat that's in play as well. So you get the heat, you get the winds, and that just causes all kinds of concerns. So major fire danger from Montana down towards Wyoming. Of course, we're dealing with some major wildfires for areas Nebraska southward into Oklahoma and Texas. And look at our highs tomorrow. So we're breaking so many records. 92 in Dallas. We've got 105 in Phoenix, upper 90s around Vegas, and then Los Angeles tomorrow sitting at 90 degrees on the nose. Closer to home, we're above average as well. We've got mid to upper 60s and 70s, near 80-degree temperatures down through Lewiston. There's that cool down as we get you into the weekend, but we've got some sunshine to go along with it.
If you have an idea and you think it'll pay, see if it's been done on Patent Thursday.
Patent Thursday, everyone, and it's Leslie's 5th favorite day of the week.
It is the 5th favorite day of the week.
She got it there. Richard in Rathdrum just sent me a message. He's looking forward to it. So let's
nice. There we go.
for Richard here. Our first patent today takes us all the way back, all the way forward maybe, to Thanksgiving and the turkey dinner. That's when people have turkey dinner, right?
Mostly.
Is anyone whipping out a turkey dinner in the middle of July? Is someone saying this morning to their spouse as they head out the door for work, what do you want for dinner tonight? How about a giant bird that takes 4 hours to cook?
Why not?
Does anyone say that?
I don't think so.
You ever cook a turkey beyond Thanksgiving?
I don't think I have. Well, I mean, I have, but not during the summer months.
Okay.
Yeah.
This past Thanksgiving, though, I did try a new method for the turkey. I put it in an oven bag. Turned out really good.
Yeah.
Super juicy. But the problem was, no one was around to help me put the turkey in the bag. It was messy.
I wish I had video of that. So, well, then this Thanksgiving, Corey, or March 19th, get yourself patent number 0077899.
Okay.
This is the oven bag helper. This is a scaffolding of a sorts that you attach to your oven bag, and then it basically holds it open while you stuff your stuffed bird inside the bag. No more asking your wife or your kids to hold the bag for you, and no more awkwardly fumbling around trying to get the carcass of an 18-pound bird into a plastic bag, which is, it's like wrestling cats.
It can be a task.
Yeah.
I feel skeptical because I feel like the force with which I insert the bird into the bag will cause the oven bag holder to move about my counter, thereby creating an entirely different issue. Is that the case here?
I mean, it doesn't look like it. It comes with suction cups, Corey, that will secure this apparatus to the counter. Are you in? Are you out?
I'm probably out on that one. My kids need something to do. You don't just get to sit there and watch football while I make turkey. Come hold the bird bag.
You got to hold the bird bag.
Hold the bird bag.
You're the bird bag holder.
Yes. Next, the sun is shining-ish.
Kind of.
Spring is sprung-ish. Time to hit the links. And when it comes to my golf clubs, unfortunately, they only get out about maybe once a year, twice if I've been a good boy. So the cleanliness of my club's not exactly top of mind. They're dusty, and they have remnants of shanks gone by firmly embedded into the club heads there. Would it make a difference if I cleaned them? Absolutely not. No, it wouldn't. I'm not good at golf. But let's say I do value a clean club and don't have access to a scrubby brush or water. Then what, Leslie?
Well, we're going to help you out, Corey, so you're probably going to want this one. This is patent number 0077249, the portable golf club cleaning system. A guy named Jeremy in Marietta, Georgia came up with this. According to the patent, it's a portable system that includes a frame that is scalable and configured to removably securing it to a portable container, like a bucket, not a portably container, but a portable container like a bucket. You put the system in the bucket, which includes brushes, fill it with water, I suppose, and then you wash your dirty clubs.
There you
Just
go.
insert the club head into it and give it a bath. Swish, swish, swish.
I don't know the venues that Jeremy from Marietta, Georgia is picturing this being used in. Like, I don't think you'd bring it onto the course, attach it to your golf cart or golf bag. That seems rather cumbersome to bring around with you there. But maybe for the garage or driving range? I think I get the idea, but again, the cleanliness of my clubs is not going to make me better at all. So I'll just stick to the brushes that I have hanging off my bag.
I mean, don't they have little cleaners at the golf courses for your clubs? And then can't you just wipe them off? I mean, are they that dirty?
That's like a
I
home
don't
business.
know.
I don't know.
Okay, I'm not sure. I don't golf enough to know.
It's a work in progress.
It's a work in progress.
Finally, let's talk airline travel. It's bad enough we have zero personal space in airlines when we're crammed in like sardines, but when they bring around the food and drink service, or half an ounce of pretzels and 6 ounces of beverage service, I'm always left in the awkward position of squeezing together like this, trying to open my pouch of pretzels and not have my hands rip apart and then force my drink over. And you might think this patent's headed towards somewhere with more space on an airline, but
Not so much. Not so much.
No, but it will prevent your drink from spilling as your hand violently rips apart that bag of pretzels, because on every plane I've ever been on, there's only a little tray that you place your drink on, and there's a little indent in there. That's not enough drink security, Leslie. I need more drink security.
Can I just say that for a second when we started reading this about travel and airlines, I thought maybe you were going to offer up something that gave us more space.
No.
But no, you're not doing that, because I am 5'0" and I'm cramped on an airplane. So there you go.
Space,
maybe we're going to at least try to help fix one of the problems. So this is patent number 0077861, the foldable table. This is a table that folds down from the seat in front of you. It has a main table and I'm not even going to say that right. Ancillary table,
Sounds good.
and then on each side of the folding mechanism of the table and ancillary table that are 2 drink holders, 2, in case you need 2 drinks. And the patent says it also has an electronic connector so that you have that there to charge your phone, your tablet, charge everything up right there and prevent your cup from slipping off of it. It sounds like a lot of work.
Yes, I do need 2 drinks. Thank you for asking, Leslie.
I'm just like, there's a lot of work involved in that. There were a lot of words involved with that. And I'm like, we already don't have any room.
That's the normal tray, but it comes with 2 cup holders in front, so your cup's not just sliding around or this little tiny thing.
I mean,
I like that. I like that.
You're just doing this to get the cups, right? I mean, we can't move our arms. We can't move our entire bodies. You just move forward. So I suppose so. I mean, if you just...
Do that again?
Right?
No, I'm in on it. That's Patent Thursday. I hope you... A lifetime of piano lessons paying off as one Utah family prepares to take the stage at New York's Carnegie Hall.
Yeah, 16 members of the Renton family will perform together at the historic venue on Monday. The group is led by Juilliard concert pianist, graduate Sally Peterson Brinton. She spent decades passing her musical talent down to her children and grandchildren. The youngest to join her on the stage is just 7 years old.
It's not about the end result. It's not about becoming a performer on Carnegie Hall, which is great that it's worked out that way. But it's about the process of what I learned on the piano bench.
And they play classical and perform in pairs at different times on stage. The youngest pianist in the family, again, as Leslie said, 7 years old.
I think of it almost as like in like the water, and they're like swimming up and down and diving, and it's just very beautiful.
The family says the concert is about bringing joy to others and sharing the talents they have developed together, again, on that piano bench there. You played the piano, Leslie? You ever sat down?
I did play the piano in high school. Yeah, I'm not good at it.
Yeah, me neither. No, I was over at the Davenport earlier today, and I was playing with their piano, and they kicked me out.
And they said,
"Stop.
no more, no more.
That's horrible.
Were you doing anything cool at the Davenport?
I was just hanging out.
Hanging out? It's a cool place to hang out.
It is.
Yeah.
We'll take a break. We'll wrap this up and say goodbye to Tri-Cities and Yakima right I was driving by the golf course, though, this morning, and people out doing it because it's
they're
nice.
out there. I mean, the temperatures are nice, a little breezy out there, but that's okay. That never stopped a golfer.
Like I said, it does. The winds are going to, it's going to go right onto the road, into the trees.
You just don't want to hit into the wind. It's kind of like spitting into the wind. You don't want to do that.
So they say. Tri-Cities Yakima, thank you so much for watching. Spokane, we'll see you in a couple minutes.
Corey Howard and Leslie Lowe with content that connects our community. You're watching NonStop Local KHQ at 4:30.
And good afternoon to you. Thanks so much for joining us for this half hour of NonStop Local at 4. I'm Corey Howard. A story just into our newsroom. The NTSB is looking into a close call at Newark Liberty Airport involving two jets, one of which was an Alaska Airlines plane. The NTSB posted this to X an hour ago. Investigators say an Alaska Airlines Boeing 737 flew over a FedEx Boeing 777 on Tuesday. Both planes were trying to land on runways that cross each other. The NTSB is working to find out how those planes ended up so close. The Alaska flight was arriving after a flight from Portland, Oregon. The Seattle-based airline said it had been cleared to land at Newark when air traffic control issued a go-around. FedEx said its crew was following instructions from air traffic control and landed safely without incident at Newark. Well, as the war in the Middle East continues, the Department of War is looking for funding. Today, lawmakers in Washington sounded off. NonStop Local's Bradley Warren following the latest force out of Washington and a press conference where we heard from Prime Minister Netanyahu. Bradley, Netanyahu spoke on the projected timeline here.
Yeah, so that press conference was in both Hebrew and English. The Prime Minister said that the President of the United States' leadership has been visionary. Today in the Oval Office, President Trump said that he thinks the war is going to be over pretty soon. He said that he thinks that this is something that he's going to be able to accomplish. He said all this while in a meeting with the Japanese Prime Minister. But he's not given an exact timeline, Corey, or exit strategy for American resources. This as the Pentagon is now asking Congress for $200 billion in additional cash to supplement the war effort. In the Hebrew portion of Netanyahu's address today, he said, in short, the timeline from the perspective of the Israeli government is as long as it needs to be.
Despite the fake news that is unfortunately being spread since the start of the war 20 days ago, we are winning and Iran is being decimated. Iran's missile and drone arsenal is being massively degraded and will be destroyed.
Yeah, so earlier today, Connecticut Senator Richard Blumenthal, who sits on the Armed Services Committee in the Senate, echoed other Democratic lawmakers saying that $200 billion in supplemental cash, it just was going to be a non-starter for him, going on to say that the war was never approved by Congress, which is even more of a red flag for him. This comes as Republican Representative Lauren Boebert said she will not vote for a war supplemental cash flow. Again, she's in the House, right? So other lawmakers in the Senate, like Senator Murkowski, said that she can't vote for anything that would support this war until she gets answers to questions like the timeline or if there will be boots on the ground. And she's a Republican. So the point of that is if this were to get out of the House, it looks rocky right now, the president would need as much support as he could get in the Senate to break the filibuster. This comes as the Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, said that it takes money to kill bad guys. At the end of the press conference, Netanyahu did say Iran does not have the ability to enrich uranium any longer. He also denied that Israel pressured the President of the United States to get involved. With that, Corey, I'll send it back over to you.
Thank you so much, Bradley. And follow Bradley tracking this story and so many more throughout the day over on The Pulse. These are news segments every hour with all the breaking news you need through our website, nonstoplocal.com, or the Nonstop Local app. And follow Leslie all day long as she follows the weather, right?
I do follow the weather.
She does.
I follow it
Non-stop.
around, like, you know, with my little blankie and want to keep up and find out what's going on.
It's kind of what you need these days, a blanket and an umbrella. But,
yeah.
Again, 60 degrees, I'm going to take that versus where we were a couple weeks ago.
I know, it's true. It's like weather whiplash is what we've been dealing with, which is really a typical March here in the inland Northwest. So let's get to it. Temperatures today right there in the mid-60s for Spokane, Pullman, and Chewelah. We're at 60 degrees currently in Coeur d'Alene. Winds, though, they've been pretty breezy for most. We're still seeing steadily blowing winds in Spokane at 22 miles per hour, anywhere from 10 to 20 between Moses Lake down through Britsville into Washtenaw over towards the LC Valley. Pretty light winds up towards the panhandle of Idaho. The strongest wind gusts remain in central Washington with Wenatchee at 37 miles per hour. We've had some wind gusts, though, here in Spokane at about 30 miles per hour. Overnight tonight, we've got a band of showers that's set to move in. We're going to see rain not only at the valley floors, but up in those higher elevations as well, which is creating some big concerns as far as runoff up in the mountains. So run up in the mountains means that we're watching the rises in small streams, creeks, and rivers. We do have a flood warning down towards the Yakima Valley, and then a flood watch and warning over towards Snohomish County as well as King County, and we'll likely see a bit of that as we head through the next several weeks. In addition, we've got some avalanche concern also with avalanche warnings through parts of Montana, western Montana, and then an avalanche watch for the panhandle of Idaho. And what that means is it's best to stay out of the backcountry right now with the winds, the warming temperatures, again, the rain and the snow melt off. The combination right there is making things very dangerous in the backcountry. Temperatures tonight, Corey, mild once again. We'll be in the mid-50s for Spokane, and then we've got mid to upper 40s and 50s for the panhandle over towards the Tri-Cities with an overnight low tonight at 55 degrees. When I see you back here in just a few minutes, of course, we are headed into the weekend and the first official day of spring, so we'll talk all about that in just a few minutes.
Now, thank you, Leslie. And if you're looking for a job this spring, we have the 2026 Spokane County Career Expo coming up. I had the chance to go check out a local staple that has a wide variety of openings to get a look at what's available. The Davenport Hotel has more than 100 job openings at their 5 hotels right now. Living in a hotel for 5 years and writing poetry. I want that job. Unfortunately, live-in poet isn't one of them.
Pretty much a job across the board. Anything you want to do, we have something available.
But Human Resource Director Kyle McCarthy says if you're looking, there's probably something for you.
Whether you have zero experience or a lot of experience, there's definitely a spot for you.
And with all of those spots,
we have some great benefits, 401k on your very first day.
But
it's actually the team members that really make, I think, the Davenport special.
And that's just the beginning. Do you guys have an opening for the fish keeper?
Yeah, for a good koi fish.
Okay, well, there's something for everybody, right?
That's right.
Okay, no official fish feeder openings, but if you're an aspiring confectioner,
Long history of peanut brittle here.
you could be a peanut brittle maker.
So you can try some if you'd like.
Can I try this instead? Or if brittle ain't your bag, perhaps you wouldn't mind some bags and cars. Is there on-the-job stick shift training?
Yeah, we can show you how to do that.
Jeremy's been a valet for nearly 5 years, and while stick shifts are few and far between these days, he does get to drive some pretty cool cars.
I had a few Rolls Royces.
And do you ever have any like Ferris Bueller moments where you take these cars out for a spin?
Oh, no, not at all. We keep it professional here.
Okay, so cars probably isn't for me, but how about the kitchen? Is this for table 7? The Davenport has 5 hotels, and hungry guests need food. I've been watching a lot of The Bear. Is that what it's like here?
The Bear?
Yeah. No?
Absolutely
Okay.
not.
Okay.
It's stressful, but it's not like The Bear.
Chef Eric Nelson has been with the Davenport for years, and while he has openings in his kitchen,
I'm looking for individuals who are willing to not only work, but want to learn.
he also wants the right kind of person.
Make this into a profession of theirs. We see ourselves not as culinarians, but also hospitality experts.
I'm really only familiar with air fryers, but I'm pretty good at making a bed. Why are hotel sheets so tight? What do you guys do to get them that way? Or at least I thought.
We just tuck and tuck and tuck.
What's the weirdest request you've gotten from a guest before check-in? Like, sometimes they say, make sure there's a picture of Wilford Brimley on my pillow. Do you ever get that?
No.
That's just me?
I overheard a request that they wanted their towels made into a swan with a picture of Nicolas Cage positioned on the swan.
That was me when I stayed here. Yeah, thank you.
No, they perfect.
So, opportunity if you're into making a guest stay and their room clean and you have experience in towel origami. So the historic Davenport and their hotels just one of about 100 employers that will be at the 2026 Career Expo hosted by NonStop Local and WorkSource Spokane. Everything from valet to kitchen staff to housekeeping to maybe feeding fish. There's a little something for everyone. Except maybe they should find someone else to play the piano. I can't play the piano. See you at the job fair. And we'll see you at the job fair. And again, the 2026 Career Expo takes place April 14th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Spokane County Fairgrounds. Hope to see you there. All right, so come here on NonStop Local at 4. We talked about longevity yesterday. Bananas aren't really known for it, but this one is. We're talking banana ball, which is hard to do in this month because it's March and there's really only one ball that rules this month, and it's the basketball. But with Wisconsin getting upset earlier today, you could hear brackets breaking around the country. How's your bracket doing 7 hours into the tournament? Our question of the day, how do you fill out that bracket of yours? You just you got a lot of knowledge? Are you asking ChatGPT? Or are you just going for the mascots? Vote at khq.com/vote, scan the QR code, or tell me all about it on the social media channels. We've got a 2-minute break, and then we're going to be right back. Leslie's got a full weather forecast right after.
It's looking pretty gray and gloomy out there, but those temperatures are mild. We're still sitting at 64 degrees in Spokane, 65 in Pullman, 65 degrees currently in Chewelah, and 60 degrees for our friends over towards Coeur d'Alene. The winds, they have been breezy throughout the afternoon. Current wind gust in Spokane sitting at 30 miles per hour, and we're currently sitting with the wind gust at 37 miles per hour over towards Wenatchee. Winds will continue to be a player as we head overnight tonight, and we've got a round of scattered showers on the way as well. We've got the initial band pulling again across 195 and 95 over towards North Idaho. Some heavier showers pushing across the Cascades and along the west side of the state, but that next band does move in the midnight hour, and we'll go through that here in a second. Our temperatures, though, are incredibly mild. We're sitting in the mid to upper 40s and low to mid 50s pretty well across the board. 54 overnight tonight in Spokane. So that tops off the lowdown for tomorrow. Scattered rain showers continue, blustery winds as we kick off the official start to spring, and then this weekend temperatures trend downward a little bit, but we are looking for plenty of sunshine. What we have for again tomorrow is that atmospheric river aimed right at the Pacific Northwest, so that fire hose is pushing here. It's going to affect areas along the west side of the state a bit more than what we're seeing on the east side of the state. However, this is midnight. Again, there's that band of showers right over the top of us. You can see that band lifts as we move towards, again, Friday morning. We've got a few scattered showers that will come along with this cold front, but for the most part, back behind the cold front, it is the winds that will be the bigger player. So with that, we'll look for some wind gusts anywhere from 30 to 35 miles per hour as we push forward into the afternoon hours, which means high-profile vehicles are going to have a difficult time. Not so fun either if it's garbage day. Now, in addition to that, if you happen to be traveling eastbound over towards Montana, this is where the winds are going to be a bit stronger. Again, we will look for wind gusts anywhere from 40 to 50 miles per hour. With the heat that we've been seeing under that heat dome and the winds combined, we've got elevated fire danger for Montana down through Wyoming, pushing into Nebraska and parts of the Dakotas as well. So again, that combined with the heat, record-breaking heat at that again does mean that possibility of high fire danger, and we are watching those fires right now from Nebraska all the way down into Oklahoma. Look at these highs for tomorrow. Little Rock 84, 92 in Dallas. We've got 90-degree temperatures down towards San Antonio, 85 in Denver. We've got 83 in Salt Lake City, 99 degrees, so just below that triple-digit mark for Vegas. 105 expected tomorrow in Phoenix, 90-degree temperatures in Los Angeles. I'll zoom in. Portland, Spokane, both sitting right there within the mid-60s, so we're well above our averages as well. And then areas back towards central Washington, low 70s for Moses Lake and Connell. We pop into the mid-70s though for the Tri-Cities, 77, so near that 80-degree mark in Lewis. To my friends down towards Grangeville, you'll hover right there within the low end of the 60s. There's the trend downward as we head into the weekend. So temperatures back into the 50s, but we are expecting plenty of sunshine as we head through Saturday and Sunday. Next week, we've got more rain in the forecast Monday into Tuesday, as well as Wednesday. Temperatures do take a little bit of a bump down. But again, all in all, it looks like a typical spring here in the inland Northwest. We'll take a break. See you back here right after this.
Welcome back, Leslie. It turns out ChatGPT does not have all the answers. You know how I know that?
How do you know that?
Because I asked ChatGPT.
And it said it did not have all the answers.
No, it was the whole thing, a study here.
All right. Okay, so a new study from Washington State University warns that the AI chatbot often gives inconsistent and inaccurate answers, especially on complex research questions.
You don't say.
No.
Researchers fed more than 700 hypotheses from business journals into ChatGPT, repeating each question 10 times. The study found ChatGPT answered correctly about 80% of the time, but struggled to identify false statements.
An associate professor leading the study says that AI was only 60% better than random guessing and often gave persuasive explanations for wrong answers.
The professor said, quote, "We're not just talking about accuracy, we're talking about inconsistency, because if you ask the same question again and again, you come up with different answers." The conclusion? It's risky to use a platform that is just slightly better than random guessing and can't identify false statements. But this is March, right?
Yes, it is March.
If you filled out a bracket, maybe you ask ChatGPT what they think about that. I don't know.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
The program, but yeah, I guess it'd be better than just picking random things here. So maybe use AI. I don't know. It takes us to our question of the day. We asked you, how do you fill out your bracket? And gut feeling only. There we are. That's me.
I mean, I think that's the only way you can really do it. I mean, there are some people who can really analyze each team because they have, they've just
we got a whole department of them, right?
Yes, and they just know. They kind of know
what
they know what they're watching for. But otherwise, it's best guess bracket.
Exactly.
Kind of like
That's
best
what I'm saying.
guess Friday.
Because even our incredibly knowledgeable sports folks back there, they know a lot about it, but they're still just kind of, in March you never know. You got a lot of upsets. We almost had one today. Duke almost got bounced out in the first round, which would have been a huge upset, but it didn't happen. But hey, as I said, Wisconsin got lost today, so. Upset. A lot of brackets. My brackets, I'm always right in the middle because I just guess, or I have my son do it for me. Denise says, last year was my first time filling out a bracket. I know nothing, so I guessed, and a friend who knows basketball said I did pretty good. I figured if a team has a lot of tall dudes and they're from the Midwest or East Coast, chances of winning are good. That's not a bad theory.
That's not a bad theory at all. Alexis hoping that Gonzaga makes their baskets by aiming for the top of the white square.
It's as simple as that.
It's as simple as that.
It's as simple as that. Julie says, totally random. I did 2 brackets. One is what I think may happen, and the second has a lot of upsets because at least one team you've never heard of will totally surprise everyone.
It is true. That happens. Does that not happen every single year?
It happened.
We
still talk about Gonzaga doing it.
It happened to us.
The Cinderella story of them that continues. So Austin just said they were doing their 17th straight first round, or they're going for their 17th straight first round win in the tournament here. So things are looking good for Gonzaga.
They're looking pretty good. So fingers crossed. Yeah, if you are superstitious, do all the things.
There's a long way to go. It's just day one, everybody.
It's just day
so
one.
Don't start getting upset if your bracket has a couple losses in it, because I'm sure everybody's does. But we'll take a break. We'll come back and we'll move from basketball to baseball. Banana ball. It's going to be fun. The Savannah Bananas have built a following of young fans through their high-energy dancing and acrobatic trick plays. Leslie, you familiar?
I am familiar, and I think I'd love to go see one of these games. But the team's latest viral moment was a nod to longevity. On Saturday night at the New Orleans Superdome, 81-year-old Rob Harrelson became the oldest person to play for the Bananas. He struck out, but anyone who has been to a Bananas game knows it's not about who wins or loses.
Jesse Cole invited me to come down to New Orleans and play in the Superdome, and I was going, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness.
Harrelson came from a small town in Missouri. He was known to the team because he's tried out for it before. 60,000 fans got to watch the player they called Old Man Rob Harrelson ride his yellow bike to home plate and take a few swings there.
What am I doing? You're wondering. Why is
what are
she
you doing,
crumpling paper? Well, Bradley said make a ball because he's gonna.
Bradley Warren heard we were going to talk about Savannah Bananas and thought we needed bats and balls here.
I think I thought I was going to throw it for you.
I'm going to throw it, and Leslie, you're going to run. You ready?
Am I going to run, or am I going to hit it?
I'm going to get out of the way.
Oh, you want me to run?
Yeah, take camera 3. Take camera 3. Ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Go, Leslie, go! Go, 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 go! Slow down, taking first base, Corey!
We got to go to break. We'll be right back. What's happening? It's sort of like Beetlejuice. If you say Savannah Bananas 3 times, Bradley Warren just appears.
He just appears with bats and paper to make,
it makes Leslie run around in her heels.
in my heels.
Which impressive, by the way. My
Thank
goodness.
You. I thank you. I did not break a hip today.
There's a little ledge here right behind the desk that Leslie just navigated, no problem, in high heels. Well done. Well done.
Right here.
See you tomorrow, everyone. NonStop Local at 5.
Sean Owsley and Leslie Lowe with content connecting our community. You're watching NonStop Local KHQ at 5.
And good evening. Great to be with you tonight. I'm Sean Owsley. We are following a developing story right now. Earlier today, several schools in Spokane locked down and then secure and teach after Spokane Police Department received reports of an altercation between students with allegations of a weapon involved. We're learning some new information tonight. That wasn't the first incident affecting Shadle Park High, Glover Middle School, and MAP. In fact, SPD responded earlier in the day to a series of swatting calls. NonStop Local KHQ's Belle Lewis tracking what's new tonight. Good evening, Belle. Walk everybody through the timeline, what you've learned.
Yeah, good evening, Sean. I'm just outside of Shadle Park High School where a little over an hour ago, the principal releasing a statement to families detailing a little bit more of the incidents. He did say that according to the information he's received from law enforcement and from his staff, an administrator spotted a student with a weapon on school grounds. The student did flee and then lockdown was imposed. But let me take you through the complete timeline of events starting this morning at 10 a.m. when the school says they received 2 reports of threats made to the school, saying the school had received several threatening messages. And while the Spokane Police Department determined the threats of a gas leak and a bomb to be unsubstantiated, they still responded to the school out of an abundance of caution. Police determined the calls were likely swatting. At this time, the school did not go into lockdown. And then 2 hours later, SPD responding to Shadle Park area again, this time to calls of some sort of altercation between students, which allegedly involved a weapon. Again, the principal confirming that it was an administrator who spotted the student with a weapon who's since fled. According to SPD, the students, again, fleeing after the incident. That's what prompted the lockdown of Shadle, Glover, and MAP. The schools remained in lockdown until 12:15 when they transitioned to secure and teach, which means the building is secured, but teaching goes on. Then around 1 p.m., SPS sent this message to families saying law enforcement believes the threat is no longer in the area, but secure and teach would be in place for a while longer. It was eventually removed at 2 and school dismissal took place as normal. Now, also in that letter to parents that was sent out around 4 p.m., they did say that they're going to have additional security available on Shadle Park High School's campus just to help students deal with the incident. They also said that they're continuing to have conversations with law enforcement, and we learned from SPD that the investigation is ongoing. They're interviewing witnesses and looking at potential evidence, including videos. According to SPD, there has been no one detained in this situation yet. In Spokane, I'm Belle Lewis, NonStop Local.
Belle, thank you for that information. Swatting, it is a criminal act, making false reports to emergency services. It's also considered a form of harassment with the intent to scare people or even risk injury. Let's bring in NonStop Local KHQ's Heidi Miley live in studio with more context on the swatting calls in our area and the consequences of them. Good evening.
Yeah, Sean, it's a serious felony in Washington State, Class A or B. It can come to a lot of prison time. It also could bring other liabilities like a fine or what it cost for the emergency response. Now, the most recognizable case of swatting that led to an indictment was of a 20-year-old Bremerton man in 2023 after investigators say that he went on a 3-month swatting campaign, threatening people across the USA and Canada. He ultimately pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 3 years in federal custody. This is according to Como TV in Seattle. Now, back here closer to home, swatting calls at schools aren't new. In December of 2022, we told you about false threats made at Lewis and Clark High School, which turned out to be part of a bigger effort across the U.S. Those calls were made to schools in Kennewick, Washington, and also to some in Montana, as well as other states. Police ultimately called this a prank, but it put several schools into lockdown in the area. It tied up police resources. Luckily, no one was hurt. And in November of 2024, Liberty Lake Police investigated a threat saying that someone was armed at Ridgeline High School in the bathroom. They never found anyone and determined it was also an incident of swatting. Now, we reached out to Spokane Police today. We asked about these types of calls. Officer Tricia Lemming told us data on these types of calls is very difficult to track, and swatting is almost always untraceable. She says that they happen not just at schools, but at homes and businesses too, and they also take up a lot of resources. In studio, I'm Heidi Miley.
Heidi, thank you. We have this just in. Health officials in Spokane say someone with measles from Kootenai County likely exposed others in Spokane County. Before that person was diagnosed, they went to Providence Sacred Heart Pediatric and Adult Emergency Departments on March 14th and March 15th. The exact time frames listed here on your screen. If you're in that area, if you're experiencing symptoms like high fever, cough, runny nose, red eyes, a rash, call your healthcare provider right away first before showing up to a clinic. The best way to protect yourself, according to the health district, is get vaccinated against measles. All right, it's Thursday evening. Let's all just breathe a little. The warmer weather is nice.
I know it has been really nice. I mean, temperatures in the 60s. I think I could be okay with that.
Yeah, if we combine that with a little sunshine, it's going to really start to feel like spring. One thing at a time, though,
right,
Leslie?
One thing at a time. We'll take the 60s for now. Still some scattered showers in the forecast, as well as some winds over the next couple of days. So here's a look at our forecast. This is a live look at the Spokane River. It's running pretty good there right now. I've got a great picture from the Palouse Falls, and I'm going to try to get that in here in the next 10 minutes or so, but it's running pretty high and pretty fast for this time of the year. 62 degrees right now in Spokane, 60 in Coeur d'Alene. We've got mid-60s for Pullman and Chewelah sitting at 65 degrees. Wind speeds anywhere from 10 to 20 miles per hour, and then those wind gusts have been in excess of 25-30 miles per hour back towards central Washington. They've calmed down here in eastern Washington and north and central Idaho. Now for tonight, we do have that band of showers that will push through. The heaviest rain is going to be up in the mountain locations. With that heavier band of rain in the mountains, that means we are expecting some issues with rising rivers, streams, and creeks. Still some flood watches and some flood warnings for the Yakima Valley as well as the west side of the state. Now, in addition, we've got avalanche watches for North Idaho and avalanche warnings over towards western Montana. Just not safe to be in the backcountry right now. Overnight lows tonight on the mild side. We're in the mid-50s once again in Spokane. When I see you back here in just a few minutes, Sean, of course, we'll get a look at that very important weekend forecast and, of course, the first official day of spring.
Oh, you had me at first day of spring.
Yes, I'm all in.
Well, tonight the NCAA tournament kicks off for area teams, and we have our team coverage for you right now. SWX's Noah Schmick is in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, following University of Idaho's men's team as they face the Houston Cougars. First, we begin with Austin Getz following Gonzaga men. They are taking on Kennesaw State in Portland. Hi, Austin.
Hey, Sean, how you doing? Well, we've made it, everybody. The madness is here. The NCAA tournament is underway, and we've already had plenty of brackets busted with earlier in the day High Point beating Wisconsin to set this tournament on its head. Tonight, the Gonzaga men will look to avoid an upset as they take on 14-seed Kennesaw State. But before we get to the matchup, before we worry about if the Zags can return to the Sweet 16 or make a run even deeper, let's think about where we are and not take for granted now 27 straight NCAA tournament appearances that this is what basketball players dream of. They spend their whole lives as kids when they're just picking up a basketball, watching basketball in March, trying to get to this moment. That certainly was the case for Gonzaga's Jalen Worley and Graham Ike as they fell in love with the game.
You know, I'm watching every year, filling out a bracket. You know, I'm in my 7th, 8th grade math class, begging the teacher to put it on the big screen. So it's something that you just grow up watching, and it's an honor to be able to actually be a part of it and playing it.
It was just a different type of madness in March, and I wasn't really all the way into it as I am now and as I got older, but I was just really just trying to soak it all up and just be a part of the experience from the TV.
We are within the 2-hour mark until tip-off of this first-round game for the Gonzaga men as they get ready to take on the Owls of Kennesaw State. The Zags looking to make it 17 straight NCAA tournament appearances with at least one win. To do that, they will have to take down this high-paced and high-powered Kennesaw State team. We'll see if they can do it in a little bit. I'll be back here, though, all night with you, getting you ready for this game and getting you ready for all the madness that happens in March. For now, though, reporting outside the Moda Center with the Gonzaga men on the drive for the title, Austin Getz, SWX.
All right, Austin, appreciate it. That's the final countdown to tip off there in Portland. What's things looking like tonight in Oklahoma City? Well, we're going to take you there right now. And Noah Schmick telling us how the Houston Cougars coach, no stranger, as you well know, to the Idaho Vandals. Hi, Noah.
Yeah, of course, Sean, you just talked about it right there. One of the biggest connections between, of course, Idaho and Houston is at the head coaching position. Kelvin Sampson, he was a head coach at Washington State for 9 years, and it was during the 80s and 90s when it was, of course, against facing off with the Vandal great head coach, Don Munson. Now, Sampson, he talked to the media yesterday a little bit about his memories of the Palouse, mentioning the Kibbe Dome and the season he will never forget, only winning 7 games and losing 22 in his 3rd year at Washington State. It's a far cry from his success now at Houston, but he called out 2 names we all know. Don Munson, who passed away last October, and his son Dan, who coaches at Eastern Washington. He had nothing but kind words for the duo.
But the 2 people I remember the most was one of the greatest Vandals of all time. His son's one of my best friends. Don Munson and Dan. And Don was a great role model for my generation. Dan, I was a head coach for one of the USA teams. I think we went to, I think it was Halifax, Nova Scotia. We won the gold medal. I remember that because I had Chris Paul as my point guard. That helped. But Munson was my assistant coach, one of my assistant coaches on that staff.
So in a season where the Idaho Vandal men are honoring the late great coach, of course, for the Vandals, Don Munson, it's only fitting that, of course, the Idaho men are going to play for the first time in the NCAA tournament in 36 years against a team and a coach that knew Don Munson, I should say, very well. Live outside the Paycom Center in Oklahoma City, I'm Noah Schmick, SWX.
All right, great story there. I have met and interviewed Dan and Don Munson back in the past. Great coaches, great people. I appreciate it, Noah. And a reminder, the Idaho women, the Gonzaga women, they play tomorrow in Minneapolis and Oklahoma, respectively. Portland, Oregon isn't too bad of a drive if you're Zags fans. Maybe you're about to take off to see the team play. Well, you better get moving. NonStop Local's Noah Bolter joins us live at pregame party in the Rose City. People excited?
Sean, the vibes are high here in Portland. You can see some of the people still behind me getting their party on a little bit ago. Zag cheer as well as the Zag band both joined in on the festivities. But let's bring in an organizer here. We got Drew Reeder with the Gonzaga Alumni Association. Drew, how special is this?
It's amazing. You know, the Zags travel deep, and everywhere we go, we have gatherings to support our team. People show up. They love to be together. And, man, what a special year. Every year. We love our student athletes.
Well, and I mentioned a moment ago to have the cheer squad and the band show up. And this is a regular relationship that you got with them. How unique and how cool is that?
It is unique. It's amazing. We have a very good relationship with athletics and our student affairs department. We appreciate our musicians and the cheer team so much. And they show up every time. Like, it's crazy. And their energy brings so much to the parties that we throw. We celebrate together. And then you get Spike in the house, and the party can really start. It's amazing.
Drew, we're out of time. Real fast. Confidence level, 1 to 10. Zag fans in Portland.
Zag fans, it's seismic. We're winning, baby. Let's go.
Drew, thank you so much. We'll send it back to you. But for now, in Portland, I'm Noah Bolter with Zag fans. NonStop Local.
All right, things getting wild there, as they always are at tournament time. It's a good look there, Noah. Appreciate you holding the pose there at the end. Still to come tonight at 5, continuing to track the war in Iran. Pulse anchor Bradley Warren with some new information on planned operations by the U.S. Welcome back. As the war in the Middle East continues, the Department of Defense is looking for funding. Today, lawmakers in Washington responding. Pulse anchor Bradley Warren following the newest information out of Washington, D.C. in a news conference where we heard from Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. And Bradley, Netanyahu spoke on a projected timeline.
Yeah, Sean, so that press conference was in both Hebrew and in English. The Prime Minister said that President Trump's leadership has been visionary. Today in the Oval Office, President Trump said that he thinks the war is going to be over pretty soon. He said that this was going to be happening having a meeting with the Prime Minister of Japan. You're looking at video from that. He did not give an exact timeline or an exit strategy for American resources. This is the Pentagon is looking for Congress to give them $200 billion in additional cash to supplement the war effort. In the Hebrew portion of Netanyahu's address today, he said, in short, the timeline from the perspective of Israel is as long as it needs to be.
Despite the fake news that is unfortunately being spread since the start of the war 20 days ago, we are winning and Iran is being decimated. Iran's missile and drone arsenal is being massively degraded and will be destroyed.
Hearing there the English portion of the Prime Minister's speech as we take a live look from Washington right now. Watching lawmakers earlier today, Connecticut Senator Richard Blumenthal, who sits on the Armed Services Committee, echoed other Democratic lawmakers saying that a $200 billion supplemental for this war that was never approved by Congress is just a non-starter for him. This is Republican Representative Lauren Boebert said she will not vote for a war supplemental. So mind you, we're watching both the House and the Senate as other lawmakers like Senator Murkowski said she can't vote for anything that would support this war effort until she gets answers to questions like the timeline and if there will be American boots on the ground. Now, she's a Republican, so the point of all that is if it were to get out of the House, the president would need as much support as he can get in the Senate to break the filibuster. This comes as the Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, said it takes money to kill bad guys. At the end of Netanyahu's press conference, he said that he currently believes Iran does not have the ability to enrich uranium. He also denied that Israel pressured the United States to get involved. Tracking all that for you, we brought that press conference for you today live on the Pulse. We'll continue to monitor the war effort, but for now I'm going to send it over to my good friend, Leslie Lowe. Leslie, how's it look outside?
You know what? A little bit cloudy, but you know, those temperatures have been so nice. Bradley, thank you so much. Take a look at this picture. Jim Pope sent this in. This is Palouse Falls, which is always gorgeous, but boy, the falls are really dumping this time of the year. Jim, thank you so much for this. And remember, send your pictures my direction. It's KHQ Leslie Lowe. Love to show them right here on air. 64 degrees. That was our high for today. So 14 degrees above our average for this time of the year. And our sunset tonight after that 7 p.m. hour. As far as what we're dealing with out there, the winds have been a bit of a player throughout the afternoon. They've died down here for eastern Washington over towards North Idaho. Still a little bit breezy, though, back towards Omak into Wenatchee with those sustained winds anywhere from 15 to 20 miles per hour, higher wind gusts 25, 30 miles per hour. Still some scattered showers expected as we head overnight tonight with the heaviest rain up in the mountain locations. You combine that with the warm temperatures again and the snow melt off that creates some issues with rises in small streams, creeks and rivers. Overnight lows tonight mild as well. We've got 54 for Spokane. We've got low 50s back through central Washington. So that tops off the low down. Scattered showers, mostly cloudy skies, still some blustery winds as we officially kick off spring. And we've got some scattered showers in the forecast to wrap up the work week as well. Otherwise, as we get you into the weekend, we are expecting some sunshine. Temperatures take a little bit of a dip, but really quite comfortable out there. So we've got the battle of two forces here. This atmospheric river pushing into the Pacific Northwest. So that's bringing in the rain to the south. We've got that ridge of high pressure, which is pulling in all of the heat. As far as the rain goes, this is overnight tonight. So I've stopped our futurecast. This is at midnight. Band of showers over the top of us. Like I said, heaviest showers are up in the mountain locations. Now we'll still see a bit of shower activity throughout the afternoon as that cold front passes through, but the bigger player is going to be those winds. So with our wind gusts, you can see they do ramp up as we head in towards the second half of the day. Expect some of those wind gusts anywhere from 25 to 35 miles per hour. That means if it's garbage day tomorrow, might want to batten down the hatches. Ridge of high pressure, we've been talking about that bubble of heat that is just parked over areas in the southwest back through California. We're talking about record-breaking heat once again. 92 in Dallas. We've got 85 in Denver, 90 in Los Angeles, 105 expected tomorrow in Phoenix, Arizona. And while our temperature is not quite that hot, still well above our averages into the mid to upper 60s and 70s, near 80-degree temperatures in Lewiston. I'll leave you with a look at that 7-day forecast. Like I said, temperatures do cool off a bit over the weekend, but we are expecting some sunshine. We'll take a break. My friend Grady back with
Live from the Northern Quest Sports Studio. This is SWX NonStop Local Sports.
Well, the Gonzaga and the Idaho men's teams getting closer, less than 2 hours from tip-off. But the women's teams having their practice today, including just 30 minutes south of where Noah Schmick was at in Oklahoma City, Norman, Oklahoma, where the Idaho Vandals begin their drive for the title. But the journey started much before today. The Vandals and head coach Arthur Marrera. This is just the second year as the head coach for Marrera, but he has the Vandals in the big dance. He credits that to the players in the university. Now, Marrera was unproven when he got to Idaho, but everyone was willing to buy into his vision, and boy, has that one paid off.
The university, the community really embraced this program, and all the girls, they kind of took a chance on us. When I got the job 2 years ago, I had no head coaching experience. I was one of, if not the youngest head coach in the country. So they could have gone anywhere else and kind of looked at me and says, no, we don't want to play for that guy. But they took a chance, and it paid off. I mean, in 2 years, we were able to get this team to the NCAA tournament, and I feel like we're still getting better.
So after the men will play tonight, it'll be the women's turn tomorrow, playing a true road game at the University of Oklahoma, trying to win their first tournament game in Idaho women's history. Another team trying to pull an upset tomorrow, the Gonzaga women. A.J. Howell is with them in Minnesota, where the team actually has a bit of history.
The Gonzaga Bulldogs are no stranger to the University of Minnesota. It's actually where they ended their season last year in the quarterfinals of the WBIT. The Bulldogs are excited for the opportunity to be here despite the heartbreak that came with last year's visit. They have to get through Ole Miss first before a potential shot at revenge.
All the returners that had that experience, and so honestly it's really nice to kind of have that group of people. We can just kind of lean on each other and know that we want the outcome to be different this time, and I definitely think that being back here we want to walk out with a win, and so it definitely plays a role, but also not something that we can make too big.
The Zags will play in Williams Arena once again, this time in the NCAA tournament first round versus a team that they played not too long ago, Ole Miss. Reporting in Minneapolis, AJ Howell, SWX.
All right, one note for you. Those of you watching us right now on Dish, well, you now have access to 24/7 local sports and weather coverage. SWX is now available to you on Channel 9. That means you also have access to our Pulse Prime newscasts through your television. There you go. I'm keeping up to date on my satellite.
That's good.
There. Yeah,
that's a good thing.
Yeah.
You can find us everywhere.
Now you can get all sports everywhere
That's
as well on
right.
SWX.
You get more Grady Glover.
That's right.
I mean, come on.
I don't know if anybody wants more of that.
I think everybody wants
come
more
on,
of that.
come on.
We'll see you at 6.